Okay, we're back Madison page.
Only a few hours left before Sean Mars dies. Hope I'm not wasting my time. Hello, I'm looking for Ann Shepard's room. Please sign the visitor's book. Are you a member of the family? Yeah, you could say that. Oh, she'll be pleased to have a visitor. No one ever comes to see her. With the Alzheimer's, she has trouble remembering things, but it'll still please her, you know. It's room 19 at the end of the corridor. Thank you.
Wait, what room? Room 10? 9?
Room 19.
19.
Where is that?
It's right here. That's 17. Sorry. It's right here.
Hello, Mrs. Shepherd.
Is it time for my pills already?
No, Mrs. Shepherd,
They're never on time with my pills. I don't know what they do here. In the other hospital, they were always on time. But here...
My name is Madison Page. I'm a journalist. I'd like to ask you some questions about your son.
I don't like this hospital. The food isn't very good, you know.
Do you remember John?
My Johnny. He's a good little boy, you know.
I know what happened at Carnegie Square. Do you remember?
Carnegie Square. I think I used to live there a long time ago. We didn't have much money at the time, you know. We had to make do with very little.
Mrs. Shepherd, your son may be linked to a series of murders. Perhaps you have some information that could help the investigation.
Are you a new nurse?
Derek.
Where are my pills?
Derek. Your mama come back here. Call her.
You had a son named John, and John had a twin brother.
Do you have my pills? It's time for my pills.
I think your son is in trouble, Mrs. Shepherd. He's done some terrible things. I need to find him. Do you understand?
Terrible things you're telling me. He never came to see me, can you believe it? In 10 years, never. No one forgets their mother, do they?
Try to remember, Mrs. Shepherd. John's twin brother was placed with a foster family after the accident. What was the name of the foster family?
I asked them for a television, you know. They said I didn't have enough money. It's a pity. I'm fond of television.
You want a television?
Your other son, Mrs. Shepherd. John's twin brother.
What's that up there?
What was his name?
What other son? Never other son. I never had any children.
You had children, yo.
You just at work all the time.
Right here. You little liar.
Are these your children, Mrs. Shepherd? John and his brother? Is that them?
They're good little boys. Their father never looked after them. Always drinking. They didn't have an easy life, you know.
Stop acting stupid, camera. Dang. Gosh. Keep flipping. Alright, there you go.
Oh, you know how to do these little dogs too. My children loved origami. I taught them how to do it. John loved the little dogs. He always wanted to call them Max. Max, Max, Max. All dogs with the same name. I was wasting my time telling him they couldn't all have the same name. But he always wanted his paper dogs Max. It's funny, isn't it?
She's got a television. She doesn't want to tell me. I mean, it's right there. You know?
Did you make these origami figures?
My little paper animals. They played with them for hours. I showed my boys how to make them, you
They
know.
were paper for hours?
Yes, your boys,
You didn't
Mrs.
have
Shepard.
toys?
John and... what was your other son's name again?
My other son? I only had one son. My little Johnny.
You're cuckoo.
You don't seem to get many flowers, Mrs. Shepard.
No, but I love them. My son knows that I love flowers. I know he'll bring me some.
I'll bring the flower. Alright, let me ask this lady real quick.
Does Mrs. Shepard ever talk about her past?
It's not all very clear to her now. Sometimes she'll remember the oddest things, though. I suppose if she sees something that reminds her of her past.
Does she get many visitors?
She's been here for 10 years and you're the first.
Wow.
Did she ever mention her sons?
Sons? Well, she often mentions John. I think he drowned.
Does she ever talk about her other son?
I didn't know she had another one. I've never heard her mention it. Sometimes, if you show her things, it seems to trigger a memory from her past. You might get it to remember.
Thanks for the advice.
Hey, that?
What time is it? Adventure time! That was awesome.
Show her things that take her back.
I'm having a really good day today. Did you know we're so
Who cares about adventure time?
Her memory is coming back. Don't stop now. Just remember.
Oh, wrong place. What am I doing?
Oh,
What a lovely orchid.
now what?
My sons loved orchids. We used to grow them in the back. When John died, I laid orchids on his grave. I cried when they told me. I'd already lost one of my children, and now they were taking away another one, you understand?
Foster family, Mrs. Shepard. What was the name of the foster family that adopted John's brother?
They were really very nice people. I met them, you know. In the beginning, I used to go and see my little boy. And then I got sick and I couldn't go any longer. Perhaps he thought I'd forgotten him. He must have thought I didn't love him anymore.
His name, Mrs. Shepherd. What was his name?
But I loved him. If you only knew how much I missed him.
Please, Anne. His name. What was his name?
Come closer.
Man, let's stop the video here.